Hey guys, we're back. So I've already made a video on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belts and their meaning. But today we're going to talk about these pieces of tape on the belt. What are they?
The standards for the belts and the time and all that sort of thing, and then how they're actually supposed to be lined up.
Are they important? And how come not every school have them? Let's talk about it.
There is always a huge discussion about belts in BJJ. However, people never really talk about the stripes on these belts. Most people don't even understand what stripes really mean. Basically, in between every belt, grapplers should receive 4 stripes before unlocking the next belt. But times have changed and a whole lot is changing with it. With new academies, the requirements to get belts are changing, and while some are more strict, others are not too rigid. While some academies hand out these so-called stripes in between belts, others do not. Also, with the new generation of NO GI BJJ, grapplers never wear their belts around their waist. We admit that this can get a little confusing. So what is the meaning of these stripes and how important are they? If they are so important, how come not all schools hand them out? Should stripes be scrapped or not? Traditionally, BJJ has a 5-belt system that comprises the white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt. These belts represent different stages of a fighter's journey. While a white belt's holder are still new to the game, black belts have been in the game for many years and they are believed to have mastered the art of BJJ. At least to a reasonable level. Well, these days, if you walk into some gyms, more than just belts, you will notice different stripes on the belts of other students.
Show you guys the new academy.
These stripes are usually made from colored tapes. Anyway, stripes are not all that confusing. Like belts, they represent the knowledge, experience, progression, and skill of the student. For instance, a blue belt with 1 stripe is not exactly equal to a blue belt with 3 stripes. Even though both of them are blue belts, the fighter with 3 stripes has more experience and has been adjudged to have more skill than the 1-stripe blue belt. Like belts, these stripes are given out by instructors. And since BJJ doesn't have a universal system for giving out belts, the criteria for stripes are unique to the academy and differ from school to school. Also, not every school hands out stripes to their students, as they are not all that necessary. Handing out stripes is solely dependent on the head instructor. Some schools, like 10 Planet, choose not to give them out.
Hello, my name is Eddie Bravo, founder of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, a global martial arts association.
Even among BJJ academies that hand out stripes, it's not uncommon for a student to skip stripes and receive an early promotion depending on their skill level, knowledge of techniques, and experience. This mostly occurs with students who have previously trained in other martial arts before switching to BJJ. But if stripes are not so necessary, why do some schools feel it's important to hand them out? Stripes are often used to entice students to continue training and to measure a student's progress within each belt.
Okay, so that, technically, by the book, is what the borders should look like. The stripes begin at the end of the belt and move their way up.
Sometimes, training in BJJ, which is a long and slowly rewarding martial art, can be boring. So, awarding students stripes based on their development is a way to encourage them and rejuvenate their ambitions for success. People can easily lose focus or become bored when training BJJ, but when they have rewards, even if it's something as tiny as a stripe to look forward to, it re-energizes them. A student who regularly trains hard can suddenly realize how long it takes to graduate to the next belt and can become wary. Many instructors use stripes as a reward system to encourage students to continue to train. Also, an instructor with a large base of students can use stripes as a measuring tool for keeping track of each of his students' level of progress. As an instructor, monitoring the progress of all your students can be a little challenging, especially if the number is quite significant. But when you hand out stripes based on progress, it becomes easier to manage your student as they advance. For example, for white belts, stripes are used to differentiate pure beginners who are almost totally helpless on the mat from those who have a few months of training. In many academies, those who are entirely new do not have any stripe, both for their safety and for the safety of others. However, while some academies may hand out stripes to white belts as a form of encouragement for good attendance or for putting in significant time,
extremely well deserved, guys. This guy works hard, comes in, he learns quick, he tries really hard, he puts a lot of effort.
others adopt the curriculum style of progression, awarding stripes as their students demonstrate technical proficiency in different jiu-jitsu white belt moves. For them, the first stripe on a white belt is an indication that a student has demonstrated a small but significant knowledge of BJJ. Such a student knows a handful of techniques and under careful supervision can perform them successfully. This student can also begin to participate in live sparring classes. When a student proves to the instructor that he can train without injuring himself or others, he then gets a second stripe. Generally speaking, such a student is still largely a BJJ novice, but at this point, he is no longer entirely fresh and clueless. In some academies, blue belts can earn stripes for simply rolling well during training. In others, the student has to show a certain level of technical know-how or compete well with others to earn a stripe. Ultimately, stripes in white belts and blue belts are often easier to earn compared to the others.
That's my backup tape.
Each stripe on a purple belt can take up to 6 to 12 months to earn. For brown belts, to earn a stripe in most academies, they have to display a certain level of dominance on the mat during training or in competitions. For black belts, earning a stripe is usually just a matter of time. Stripes for black belts are usually referred to as degrees. In most academies, the first 3 degrees are awarded after every 3 years, while the 4th to 6th degrees are usually awarded after every 5 years. Even though the stripe system has been adopted by a number of academies, notably Gracie Barra, others have simply stuck to belts with no stripes. Some critics argue that stripes are an unnecessary distraction and may not actually have any real significance. But, in our opinion, they are a great way to encourage students, especially in the lower belt categories. The journey to becoming a black belt is a long one, and many people who begin training BJJ drop out on the way. With stripes, students have something to hold on to while they push for the next belt. Stripes are a form of motivation, and we encourage anything that motivates students to keep on training. So basically, the stripe system should be maintained.
Check it. Got my first stripe on my blue belt. Got some
Alright, this brings us to the real question. Are stripes necessary?
Pounds. He's here quite a bit. Is that about 4 months? 6 months. Geez, so we're a little overdue. Keep doing, man. Put the work in. Awesome, man.
Should we keep them, or should they be taken out? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. We will see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.